Right people, so in a recent video we installed a Tesla battery to my Gwiz, alright? We've recently had it wrapped green as well to make it look a bit cooler. We've got Kai here as well today. We're filming, how many videos are we filming today, Kai?
3.
On it mate, 3 videos in one day. We're at VRS Northampton, but we have not yet done the first drive in the Gwiz because there was a problem. There was a thing I was quite unsure about driving this car, and I was like, Will, we need to sort this problem out first. So we'll talk about what that problem was first, and then we'll head out for the first drive in the Gwiz since we installed the Tesla battery. So there's the Gwiz looking absolutely gangster. Now some of you might actually already spot the modification that we've done to the Gwiz. Can you notice it? Do you know what we've done to it, Kai? You ain't got a clue, have you?
Green.
Pardon?
It's green.
A screen? It's green. We have done it green. Yeah, what we'll do is we'll go find Will and let him do all the talking, yeah? Right, Will, so we're... Sorry. We want to do the first drive in the Gwiz today, but we got sort of held up because...
You said we then?
Me. I'm going to do...
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it'll pull both of us.
It's not like Donkey Kong in that, mate.
Me and you.
It's like literally I'm wearing it when I get in it.
Literally. So obviously we tried to drive it before, we did drive it before, but it was sitting really high, like dangerously high. Yeah, because the new batteries weigh 200 kilos less.
Yes. So it had different suspension.
So you've done a suspension mod on it.
So we, locally to us, obviously you know we deal with Turbotechnics.
Yeah.
So literally like 3 doors down is AVO Suspension.
Okay.
On Brack Mills Industrial Estate. Well, the guys at AVO, I contacted him and said, look, I've got this Gwiz. He's like, what? I was like, yeah, it's like a little electric car. I could hear him typing. Yeah. And he's like, oh.
Yeah, we've never done anything one of them before.
But I said it's got a really simple eye-to-eye rear damper on it, so which is just basically a 12mm hold twin eyelet rear damper, and then it's got a spring in it. So it's coil over damper, but non-adjustable. Non-adjustable ride height, non-adjustable damping. So obviously the car's like this. So what we wanted to do was lower the vehicle down. Lower the rear end of the car. Getting a shorter spring and damper. We tried, we were going to cut the springs. Because we were like, yeah, let's just cut the springs.
And there wasn't any other
solution. And I was like, oh, this is not going to be ideal. So anyway, the spring's a pigtail spring, so it's got a small pigtail, then it goes into a bigger one, goes down and a smaller at the bottom. So if you were to cut the spring, it would just fall over the top of the damper. You can't do that with this.
So that wasn't an option?
No, it's not an option. It's not what I'd want to do anyway, but it's just not an option. So even if we wanted to do it, we couldn't. It takes like 2 minutes to get the rear dampers off one of these. It's like wheel off, and then literally... Oh. So basically we then got the AVO damper built, so it was pretty much 2 inches shorter, and then they stopped the length ultimately going too high by putting like a stopper inside it as well. Okay. So if you're braking, the car's not going to go up like that. So there's quite a lot went into it. Conrad from AVO was good enough to take me around and show me what he was going to do. Literally took him 2 minutes.
That is so sad.
I literally walked in. I think I spoke to a guy called Neil, and then Jade there, who does the marketing and stuff. I was like, look, you know, this is what we want to do. Can you help us? And he's like, yeah, no problem. So we went in, and he took me to like the damper area, and he's like, okay, we'll get this one. So you can have 2 sizes, this one or this one. There was a shorter one again, but the car would have been decked on the back then. And the problem is you can't go too low because the motor hits the body. Okay. And then there's bits of wiring that could like hit the body and stuff. So that's about the right.
So we're now sitting as low as we can, but also it's even, isn't it? It looks it looks quite squat as well. It looks quite sort of mean.
The sill's slightly lower at the back, whereas the arch gap. So if the car sits, that's pretty much perfect.
Mate, it looks wicked. It looks absolutely brilliant. So
the spring doesn't dislocate, so it doesn't like fall out when you jack the car up. It's got a little bit of preload on there. They're adjustable damping, so you can go from 24 clicks, so it's 24 position adjustable damping on there.
That's amazing.
The springs, so Conrad took the springs, put them on there, spring dyno basically, and worked out what pressure they were, and then ordered a spring that was relevant to that, and then I literally bolted them on, and they literally bolted straight up.
Dead easy, yeah?
Yeah.
I mean, that is wicked.
So
So shout out to
big
AVO,
shout out to AVO.
AVO Suspension,
and
yeah.
they weren't even that expensive either.
Go on, how much were they?
So I think the total was about 325 quid, including VAT.
That is amazing.
That's including VAT.
That's nothing.
For a pair of adjustable ride height, adjustable damping coilovers.
So we've got coilover suspension on the Gwiz.
Yeah, we've only done the rear because the front is different, but the front didn't need doing.
The front don't need doing at all.
Oh, your suspension's not matched.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that's not right because the spring rates, that spring rate is matched to the original spring rate.
Wicked.
I feel the car's good.
So a couple more things. We bought a new charger for the car.
Yes, that's a caravan lead.
Caravan lead for the Gwiz. Yeah, that's perfect. Does it,
we put it on charge 2 hours ago.
Yeah.
And it had
6 or 7%.
It's now got 44%.
So it's charging a lot quicker. That's something we've noticed straight away.
So 2 hours, you've got roughly 38%. But it was 10 hours before for the lead acid batteries.
So we're charging it.
So we're 200 kilos lighter. It's charging quicker. All we had to do with the charge lead for the caravan was just a little lid. We just had to cut the lid off and then just so it plugged in and then modify it slightly. That was in there.
Perfect.
And we've also put that this gauge here was on just laid on top of the dash. We've trimmed that into the dash, so it's got a proper little
looking really neat. So that's like the battery gauge, so we know how much power we've got left in the battery.
Yeah, so
job done. Yeah. Absolutely brilliant. So I can now finally drive the Tesla Gwiz for the first time.
Tesla Gwiz.
Let's do it. Good God, this car is so cramped, man. So the key, let's get the key out. I feel a lot more confident in this car now though. That's one thing I would say, having like a more modern battery, lithium ion, it charges quicker, it feels just a bit more efficient. I suppose it's always efficient, wouldn't it? Ignition on, put it in drive, handbrake off, seatbelt on for definite because this thing is made out of plastic, and we can begin moving. That's the wrong seatbelt. Let's go. We are off. Where's the indicators in this thing? On the right hand side. We'll just do a little lap round the block. Indicate right. So we are 200 kilos lighter. We've got firmer suspension, more power in the batteries as well. I've not yet flattered the throttle, but I'm going to do that right now, guys. Everyone's looking at me and laughing. There we go, full throttle, straight past 10 mile an hour. Straight up to 20 mile an hour. Now I did do draggy times before from 10 to 20 mile an hour in this car. I can't remember exactly what the time was, but it was super slow. By the way, we've got funny, proper funny camera angles, guys, because there is no room for anything in this car. I feel cramped. I feel like I'm pushed up against cameras, but it's the best that I can do. But when I drove this car last time, for the first time, when we originally put the batteries in, it felt dodgy, man. It felt like it's going to roll over. It feels like every time I turn left, it's gonna fall over in that direction. Lean cow. I can honestly say now that it feels a lot safer than it did before. So we've had the steering wheel retrimmed as well, bike control, custom steering wheels, and we're running on plug-in electric at the minute. Plug-in electric. It's got how many volts we've got? Who's blipping at me? Oh, that truck got quite close to me. I wouldn't want to get too close to anything in this thing because it is, like I say, completely made out of plastic. The indicator relay seems to be flickering about like mad. It does have an MOT, by the way, guys. It's completely road legal, and it now has a reliable battery. But do you know what? We're moving, guys. $20 miles an hour, no problem at all. Flying down the road just outside VRS. Around the bend, past the gymnastics club, and I am still leaning. I'm doing that leaning thing again because I suppose, I don't know, I am a bit sort of self-conscious. Self-conscious, is that even the word? That's completely wrong words. Paranoid, I think is the word. Paranoid it's going to roll over, pull out in front of the Audi. But I do feel a lot more confident in the power delivery of the car now. It's so much more, it's not fast, don't get me right, this ain't fast. What actually makes the car fast is the motor. So although we've upgraded the battery to a more powerful battery, I think I'll turn right up here. I think this is a dead end up here, but go round the drain, yeah, what obviously provides more power for the car is the motor, and we've not yet upgraded that. We might do that, I don't know, but I must admit, I think it's got plenty of power, man. This is all right. And because it's got a bit more power, you do feel a bit more confident driving it. You feel, you know, it feels a bit more usable. People do look at you funny, like, oh mate, yeah, he's confused. Big turning circle here, let's do a little loop. Yeah, see that, doing loops, no problem at all. People are looking at me laughing, oh, what's that bloody hillbilly doing? Yeah, all right, mate, go on, wave. They're just looking at me like, what a dickhead. There's a Kawasaki shop in front, look, this blends with a Kawasaki shop. This is Kawasaki green, guys. I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm loving life in my Gwiz. So what can I say? It's brilliant. It's bloody brilliant. We still need to do a range test in this car. Brakes. We still need to do a range test in this car. So remember, before we put the battery in, the current battery in, on the lead acid batteries, this car just about done 30 miles on a full range. You know what? I've just pulled out in front of that Fiesta. No problem at all. I'm not even thinking about it now. The car's got plenty of power. Just thought about that. Thought I'd throw that in there. But yeah, done 30 miles at an absolute struggle on a full range, on a full charge before. So we will do a range test on this car now that we've got a Tesla battery in the car. Obviously, this is very current with current times. The fuel crisis, people being unable to get fuel. It's got to stay out of beef up my arse now. Slow down, stay out of beef up. So yeah, it's quite current. I'm gonna do another loop, and it's quite cool, man. I paid 1,500 quid for this car originally. I don't know what sparked me to buy it. It was the cheapest electric car in the country, and we've done a battery conversion on it. That again, that probably cost me another maybe 1,500 quid. And yeah, here we are. Steering wheel retrim. Got a digital battery meter in the dash, and it's doing everything as it should. It's going really well. We're yet to do a range test, but I am going to wrap it up and leave it as that, because I'm just doing loops around this industrial estate in Northampton. Big shout out to VRS and to Richard Malby, who was the fellow that got involved with helping us doing the battery changeover. The Gwiz now is a proper running motor. It's a decent car. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I don't know what my plans are, but I would love to put a bigger motor in it, make it a bit faster. But that's yet to come. I'm just chilling at 20 mile an hour. Chilling. Like, you couldn't do that in this car before. Just poodling along at 20 mile an hour. Trust me, don't take that stuff for granted when you're driving the Gwiz, because that is amazing. The battery power has dropped slightly on the meter, but you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna pull back into VRS, indicator on. You can let me go, mate. What is more sort of confidence inspiring now is, because the car's bright green, yeah, I suppose you're less likely to get crashed into because people can see you. So we've also had this wrap by AtoZ in Milton Keynes. Shout out to them. It's actually a Lamborghini green, not a Kawasaki green. So it's looking cool. It's driving spot on, and the first drive was an absolute success. It did take a bit longer than expected, but also shout out to AVO Suspension as well. I will link them in the description below. Definitely give them a shout if you need any suspension work doing. But yeah, the first drive was a success. I'm gonna wrap it up, leave it as that. Look out for an up and coming video where we're gonna do the range test in this car. We've got to beat 30 miles. I know full well it's gonna smash 30 miles, but how much more than 30 miles is it gonna do? And is it gonna be an absolute disaster? They're all looking at me like, Cav, what are you doing? Get out of the bloody way. I'm gonna pull in here, indicator on, right into it, in front of my Golf R. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked this video. If you did like this video and you want to see more on the Gwiz, make sure you hit subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified when I upload. I do generally upload a new video every Wednesday and Sunday at 6 o'clock. Do you know what? I did put the seatbelt in. Like, these lot are laughing at me. Absolutely laughing. Don't break the Gwiz. But yeah, it's been a great laugh doing this car. Absolute barrel of laughs. Great fun. It's a random thing. I'm a petrol head. This is an electric car, and you know what? It's the cheapest electric car in the country. So yeah, wrap it up, leave it at that. Thank you very much for watching. Hit like if you like this video. I've already asked you to hit subscribe, but if you are on Instagram, do give me a follow on Instagram at Calvin's Car Diary, and I'll see you in the next video. All right, bye.